Hello viewers, I'm your host Uzma Jafri with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. It appears that the time limit of the recent Chinese mind game in India is over. After weeks of incursion into Indian territory of Ladakh and its stubbornness during talks, the Chinese side is now de-escalating and disengaging at the Indian border. This isn't the first time when the two sides have disengaged after weeks of standoff. Even in 2017, both sides had confronted each other for over 2 months near the Indian state of Sikkim. Experts say that Beijing has been playing a psychological war, and since India is more prepared and experienced when it comes to fighting a full-fledged war, the Chinese army has backtracked.
China's People's Liberation Army has once again started vacating the Indian region it had illegally occupied in past several weeks. The two diplomatic sides received a shot in the arm after both of them agreed to gradually de-escalate at the de facto border along the Indian Union territory of Ladakh. Chinese side, which was unyielding during different commander-level negotiations, said that it was looking forward to ease tension at border through effective communication channels with India.
对现场的具体情况，我没有办法，我没有更多的具体的信息可以向你提供，但是我可以向你确认，中印双方通过外交和军事的渠道，已经就妥善处理中印边界西段的有关事态进行了有效的沟通，取得了积极的共识。那么现在双方呢，也正在按照已经达成的有关的共识，为缓和边境的局势采取相应的行动。
However, not everything Beijing speaks to cameras can be trusted. It has taken U-turns on several occasions in the past, including its everyday changing narratives on coronavirus. The country's diplomacy is loaded with sugar, but the reality reeks of conspiracies and its constant plans of occupying others' territories to further its own imperialist agenda. Various open intelligence sources across the globe have confirmed that it was Chinese army that had violated the decades-old status quo in the region. China has blatantly lied through its mouthpieces that it got alert on seeing the construction along the border and it built up against the same. However, the truth is that India was constructing miles inside its own territory and Chinese version was nothing short of hogwash. China is also rattled by the fact that despite of all its social media lies and tricks, it has been unable to create even a small dent in the Indian army morale. As per various reports, which the officials have not confirmed, New Delhi was not ready to give in to Chinese bullying this time and had started mobilizing its troops in Ladakh to counter Chinese build-up.
Their army, there's big, bulky, big with modern weapon, but the soldiers are not properly trained to fight a war, sustained war. They are more or less like showmen, show soldiers for ceremony. Of course, they look very good on parade and all with beautiful timings and all, that's about all. So Chinese know very well that Indians will not, hesitate in giving them a drubbing. But China is trying to play on the moral pressure on the India, psychological pressure. And that is why it's trying to talk big, putting in tanks, bringing in so many things.
While Beijing claims that it wants peace with all of its neighbors, it cannot afford a war with anyone, especially India, under current circumstances. Its economy that has been hit hard due to the spread of coronavirus and is likely to decline even more in coming quarters has stakes worth $30 billion in Indian market. It is earning almost double of it from India every year. Many of its companies that have been ostracized and banned in other countries have their limited market left in India. its ties with its immediate neighbors and economic powers are at an all-time low due to what some call it complicity, while others say its culpability in the outbreak of COVID-19. China is on a slippery slope, both economically and diplomatically. And in such a situation, even conceiving a war should be its last priority, let alone fighting and winning it.
Moving on to Bangladesh, where hundreds of workers who have now become unemployed due to shutdown of factories are protesting against the government, demanding their previous salaries. The industry sector, which accounts for around 40% of the total workforce of the country, has been hit hard due to the growing pandemic, and a large section of it is unable to resume operations owing to an absence of the contracts that were cancelled after the virus prompted a worldwide lockdown.
Hundreds of garment workers protested overdue wages and shuttered factories near Bangladesh's Labour Ministry. They were from the Dhaka Export Promotion Zone, an area with hundreds of factories in the city. Although hundreds of garment factories were able to reopen at the end of April after a week-long shutdown to curb the spread of the coronavirus, many have remained closed, unable to export goods and without new orders. These workers are now at a point in their lives where they neither have jobs nor savings for their future.
আমাদের পাওনা দাওনা বুঝিয়ে দিন আমরা যে কোনো একটা কাজ করে আমরা অসহায় মানুষ আমরা বেঁচে থাকতে চাই আমরা এই দেশের নাগরিক হিসেবে বেঁচে থাকতে চাই
Workers say they want help from the ministry and Prime Minister, having gone for months without pay. Bangladesh is home to around 4,000 garment factories employing 4.1 million workers, and industry groups for the sector had previously warned that the shutdown that began on March 26 could cause the country to lose $6 billion in export revenue this financial year. Bangladesh is one of the fastest growing economies in South Asia and around the world, but a large section of it lives under national poverty standards and even more on just above the line. People living under poverty comprise around 21% of the total population, and with country's industries enduring a huge economic blow due to the virus lockdown, a sudden spike in the numbers is expected.
আমাগর বেতন দেয় না বোনাসও দেয় না আমরা অনেক অসহায়ভাবে আছি আমাগর বাচ্চা কাচ্চারা লেখাপড়ার খরচ দিতে পারি না আমরা রুম ভাড়া দিতে পারি না দোকান বাকি দিতে পারি না আমাগর মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীর কাছে আকুল আবেদন আমাগর এই ফ্যাক্টরির যত শ্রমিক ভাই বোন আছি সবার পাওনা দাওনা যাতে উনি বুঝায় দেয়
As per a tally, around 1,000 people have died in Bangladesh due to coronavirus. Experts say that the unemployment rate, which today stands at 4.29%, might witness a sudden spike due to the coronavirus in near future. Major financial observers say that all sectors of Bangladesh, whether it is industry, agriculture or service sector, are projected to suffer a comprehensive decline this year. In 2019, 39.7% of the employees in Bangladesh were active in agriculture sector, 20.53% in industry and 39.76% in the service sector.
Moving on to India, where its largest public service, the Indian Railways, has turned out to be a saviour for the citizens amid coronavirus crisis. Starting from the cancellation of trains to supplying essential commodities, Railways has gone an extra mile to contain the virus spread. So today, let's take a look at some of the precautionary measures that the Indian Railways has taken to fight against the virus.
From launching a massive awareness drive to turning the coaches into isolation wards, Indian Railways has gone full throttle to contain the outbreak. Despite COVID-19 induced nationwide lockdown, it maintained its freight corridors at full capacity, ensuring the availability of essential commodities through its 24/7 freight and parcel train services. Since April, a total of 178.68 million tons of commodities have been transported through as many as 3,861 parcel trains, in which 3,755 were timetables trains. Zonal railways are regularly identifying and notifying routes of these parcel trains that are being operated on 96 routes. Indian Railways traffic service officers have also come up with Setu facility that has emerged as a big relief for the people amid coronavirus, as it allows customers to call and place requests for bulk essential items.
कोविड महामारी के कारण देशव्यापी लॉकडाउन की स्थिति को देखते हुए इंडियन रेलवे ट्रैफिक सर्विसेज के ऑफिसर्स द्वारा सेतु नाम का एक इनिशिएटिव लिया जा रहा है। इसके अंतर्गत कोई भी व्यक्ति, संस्था, प्रशासन या कोई भी नीडी व्यक्ति हमारे पूरे भारतीय रेलवे नेटवर्क में चलाई जा रही टाइम टेबल पार्सल ट्रेनों के माध्यम से देश के किसी भी स्टेशन से किसी भी डेस्टिनेशन स्टेशन तक आवश्यक वस्तुएं, मेडिसिन, मेडिकल इक्विपमेंट्स, एग्रीकल्चर प्रोडक्ट्स, रॉ मटेरियल वगैरह इनकी बुकिंग करा सकते हैं और अपने गंतव्य स्टेशन तक उसको ले जाया जा सकता है।
Indian Railways also helped the stranded migrant workers to reach their hometown through its special Shramik trains. Till date, more than 57 lakh migrant workers have been transported through 4,155 Shramik special trains operationalized from various states. During this whole transportation process, authorities sanitized the train coaches, screened the passengers, and ensured that they practice social distancing at the railway stations.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं हुई, सब हमें सही लग रहा है। रास्ते में हर सुविधाएं थी, खाने पीने की सब।
Meanwhile, in order to meet the unprecedented surge in the demand of intensive care units, Indian Railways converted hundreds of rail coaches to make around 5,150 isolation wards for the COVID-19 patients. Shakur Basti Station at New Delhi became the first in the rail network to provide COVID hospital on wheels facility. Every coach of the train is going to have one doctor, one nurse from paramedical staff, one attendant, and one cleaner. Facilities of oxygen cylinders are also made at the isolation facility by railways.
एक कोच के अंदर 9 कूपे होते हैं, जिसमें से एक कूपे मेडिकल और पैरामेडिकल स्टाफ को दिया जाता है और 8 कूपे जिसमें 16 पेशेंट जो हैं वो इस कोच के अंदर रह सकते हैं और ऐसे 10 कोच हमने अभी रखे हैं। तो इसमें 160 पैसेंजर जो है वो इसमें अकोमोडेट किए जा सकते हैं।
As a part of extra precautionary measures, railway stations in different parts of the country have also installed vending machine that dispenses mask and sanitizer bottles. Keeping in mind the rapidly increasing cases of the virus, the railway stations have installed the machine which has mask and sanitizer at subsidized rates.
जो मास्क 95 स्टैंडर्ड वाले हैं उसकी कीमत 100 रुपीज़ है। सैनिटाइजेशन के लिए जो छोटी सीसी और बड़ी सीसी है 50 रुपीज़ और 100 रुपीज़ करके हैं, ये अवेलेबल है। पैसेंजर्स को करना सिर्फ इतना ही है, कोई बॉदरसम प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। वेरी सिंपल कि जो आप कोड देखते हैं, जो आइटम आपने पसंद किया, बड़ी सीसी, छोटी सी या मास्क, उसके नीचे कोड लगे हुए, उस कोड को दबा देना है। मॉनिटर पर ऑटोमेटिक आ जाएगा कि इतने प्राइस हैं, वह करेंसी नोट दे देना है। मशीन ऑटोमेटिक वे में उसको शक कर लेती है और आपके सामान ऊपर से ड्रॉप हो जाते हैं।
The way Indian Railways is aiding the fight against COVID-19 is truly commendable. Recently, it has also created a new world benchmark by successfully running first double-stack container train in high-rise overhead equipment electrified sections.
Moving on. People in the illegally occupied PoK are being subjected to discrimination even at the time of a health crisis. While the effluent class, which comprises mainly of the Islamabad-backed politicians and bureaucrats, has been flourishing even more due to the cushions and liberty provided by authorities, the poor and destitute have been pushed further down the economic ladder. They have lost everything: employment, savings and optimism.
People in the illegally occupied PoK say that it is the local administration's inaction and systematic discrimination that has led to the misery and suffering in the region. The region is under lockdown since 23rd March, but only one section of people is following it: the poor. While the authorities have been taking stern action against the poor for not abiding the guidelines, they have been liberal and forgiving with the elite and influential class in the region. They have even been allowed to mint money at a time when they are supposed to keep people confined to their homes, while on the other side, the poor is staring at the end of his life.
हुकूमत ने आवाम को हालात पर छोड़ दिया। हुकूमत ने ट्रांसपोर्ट बंद कर दी। मजबूर लोग जो 100 रुपये पर सफ़र करते थे वो 1000 रुपये पर सफ़र करने पर मजबूर हुए। बासर लोगों की गाड़ियों को नहीं रोका गया। इस वक्त हुकूमत के यानी वज़रा के अकारिब, पुलिसमैन, ऑफिसर्स और मुख्तलिफ यानी जो ताकतवर तबकात थे उनकी रेंट की गाड़ियाँ सरेआम सड़कों पर चलती रही और वो मन किराए वसूल करते रहे। अगर कोरोना ट्रांसपोर्ट पब्लिक से फैल सकता है तो उन गाड़ियों से भी फैलता रहा या फैल सकता रहा। और इसी तरह जो दुकानें बंद थी और जो वासर थे उन्होंने एक अपने निज़ाम के तहत उन कारोबार को बंद नहीं होने दिया, वो उसकी कोई तरीके उन्होंने रखे। तो बाकी जो सबसे नाकाम तरीन मामला रहा वो शायद वफाक का हो या आज़ाद हुकूमत का हो, वो ये रहा गरीब से निवाले चिनते रहे। गरीब को किसी ने पानी नहीं पिलाया, गरीब को कोई खाना खिला नहीं सका और गरीब अपने हाल पर रह गया और मफलूकुल हाल होते होते वो जिनके अपने मरने के करीब आ गया। हुकूमतें सिर्फ बयानबाजी और अखबारी तशहीर और मीडिया पर एक अच्छे बयान देते रही।
Pakistan, which controls the region, is itself crippled by policy paralysis, whether it is domestic or foreign. And now, at a time of COVID crisis, even its poor health sector has been exposed. It has been doing nothing on ground in PoK to protect people from the menace of the virus. It has just copied what its neighboring states are doing without realizing the exact nature of the problem. As a result, an indefinite shutdown has only expanded the size of people's problem. Local leaders accuse the legislators.
हमारी आवाज़ कमज़ोर है। हम उस वक्त भी ये बताते रहे कि लॉकडाउन इस मर्ज़ का मुस्तकिल हल नहीं और इस मसाइल से ज़्यादा लोगों के रोज़गार का, लोगों के दीगर अमूर के हवाले से मसाइल हैं, उस पर भी तवज्जो दी जा सके। बदकिस्मती से हुकूमतें तो सियासी एक कोशिश और कावश से और वोटों से बनती हैं, लेकिन जब ईवान इक़्तिदार में चली जाती हैं तो पॉलिसी बनाने वाले ब्यूरोक्रेट्स होते हैं। तो हमारे बहुत कम मेंबरान असम्बली या वज़रा वो पॉलिसी मेकिंग पर तवज्जो देते हैं और अक्सर वज़रा या मेंबरान असम्बली सिर्फ ये पूछते हैं अपने ब्यूरोक्रेट से, अपने सेक्शन ऑफिसर, अपने सेक्रेटरी से, अपने डीजी से कि दस्तखत कहाँ करना है।
The region's resources have already been plundered by Pakistan, and the growing unemployment rate with no effective measures being taken by the so-called government of the region, the gravity of the looming misery cannot be estimated. The existing humanitarian situation might plunge into an irrevocable crisis, and Pakistan, which hasn't cared for people's life in the past 7 decades, will not bother even this time.
Moving on. Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has been a master of goof-ups, and he has been periodically expressing his idiocy over social media. This time, he took to Twitter to share a couplet in a bid to send a message of peace and brotherhood in his otherwise religiously volatile country. It turned out that he had wrongly attributed the poem to the national poet of Pakistan, Allama Iqbal, the man who is disliked by all except Punjabis in his country. Altaf Hussain, the founder of Pakistan's Muttahida Qawmi movement, has said that poet Allama Iqbal has been eulogized by Punjabi nationalists, and he did not represent the ideology of Pakistan, but of Greater Punjab for the protection of the interests of West Punjab.
Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan's recent goof up on social media has given space to a fresh debate in the country. And it is over Pakistan's national poet Allama Iqbal, whether he advocated peace and unity or he was a propagator of ideas and propaganda of country's army generals and hardliners. The turn of events started with Pakistani Prime Minister wrongly attributing a poem to Iqbal and later apologizing for it. He had appealed the youth to follow their lives as per poetic prescription. However, the leaders of Sindh, a region that has been politically marginalized and discriminated over the years, say that the poet worked at the payrolls of British and never supported the idea of Pakistan.
ग्रेटर पंजाब का मंसूबा था जो ग्रेटर पंजाब के सल्तनत बरतानिया के एजेंट अल्लामा इकबाल ने पेश किया था कि पंजाब के साथ केपीके को यानी नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटियर प्रोविंस उसको पहले कहा जाता था, प्रोविंस ऑफ सिंध को और बलूचिस्तान को अमलगमेट कर दिया जाए, यानी इंटीग्रेट कर दिया जाए, यानी मिक्स कर दिया जाए, यानी मिला दिया जाए और मिला के ग्रेटर पंजाब बना दिया जाए.
Altaf Hussain, in his latest address through social media, said that Sindh, Balochistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Gilgit-Baltistan have become colonies of Punjab through the military power, and asserted that Pakistan has become Punjabistan. He said Muhajirs, Sindhis, Baloch, Pashtuns and people of Gilgit-Baltistan want freedom from Pakistan, and strongly condemned the atrocities and human rights violations in Pakistan by the state forces.
पाकिस्तान के लिए नहीं, पाकिस्तान के परचम की आड़ में पाकिस्तान के नाम पे ग्रेटर पंजाब का मंसूबा था और आज तक है. चाइना से तुम कितनी डील कर लो, सिंधी और मुहाजिर जब तक जिंदा हैं, सिंध पे चाइना के साथ करो या अमेरिका बरतानिया के साथ, कर लिया जितना करना था.
Altaf Hussein's MQM, a mainstream political party of Muhajirs, has dominated Pakistan's largest city, Karachi, since the 1980s. When the security forces cracked down on the party in 1990s, Altaf Hussain sought asylum in the United Kingdom. Even from exile in London, Hussain has been a vocal critic of Pakistan's policies and often blames it of using force to muzzle dissenting voices in the country. His political messages have resonated with the mass, and the youth of the region has mobilized a campaign against the establishment. The MQM has been demanding equal rights for the Muhajirs, the people who travelled and shifted in Pakistan after the partition of India.
Pakistan has been ill-treating the Muhajirs through its systematic designs. With that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Goodbye and take care.